Welcome to a Vanguard news video without the bullshit. Let's get started. Deer Chronicle and Bermuda Triangle get promo cards for July 2022 because they're the only clans that didn't get a reverse unit. Then again, why reverse something that's already evil? Looking at Bermuda Triangles as I state this. Steam Tamer Nanni when placed on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast if you have a Chrono Tiger Rebellion Vanguard to bind all your cards in hand, then return those bound cards back to your hand at the end of the turn. He gets a continuous ability that reduces all your opponent's shields by 5k if you bound 3 or more cards. I honestly stopped caring once I read Chrono Tiger Rebellion's name requirement. Talk to me again when Bushiroad finally starts reprinting VR cards. Prism on the Water Mytho when placed on Vanguard or rear guard lets you pay 1 Soul Blast, then both players draw a card. Both players must then call a card from their hand to rear guard if your Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, and your opponent cannot use any auto abilities due to that called card. Imagine the original having a unique way of winning by decking out your opponent. That Bushiroad decided that the retrain should now have a cost to prevent it from happening in V Premium. Those Zero kids are going to have a boring time in rank for the latter half of June 2022, since Big Belly will be the next rank promo. Each box of DBT06 will contain card separators featuring the 6 nations of the game. Nothing like bringing nations together by putting out a metaphoric wall between them. Bushiroad finally learning that there's a market for reprints have decided to reissue over triggers, D-Series Sentinels, and basic triggers for all the nation clans in DBT06 onwards. Now if they can just finally give V Premium players reprints of VR cards, then maybe people will be glad enough to throw them their entire life savings. The hype for Glendio's return in DVS06 proves that players just want to relive the Link Joker format despite it being one of the worst formats in the game. Star-vader Worldline Dragon when placed on Vanguard or rear guard lets you pay 1 Soul Blast and discarding a reverse card to add up to 2 Star-vader cards from the top 7 cards of your deck. I always thought the original Worldline Dragon was overtuned due to how it keeps working despite being in the soul. At least now Link Joker players will have to work hard for their Star-vader cards. Premium players suddenly realize they can use 3 of this along with the original grade 0 for some major filtering. Taboo Star-vader Rubidium when placed on Vanguard makes you add up to 1 reverse card from the top 7 cards of your deck. And while on rear guard, all your reverse units get the intercept ability in 10k shields if you have an Omega Glendio-O Vanguard. Gone are the days of your Vanguard attacks suddenly being redirected, thus acting like a pseudo-perfect guard. Premium players would probably still play the original over this. Star-vader Magnet Hollow when placed on Vanguard or rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast if you have a Star-vader Vanguard to add up to 1 reverse card from your deck. And while on rear guard during your turn, it gets 5k power for each reverse card in your bind zone. Not only is this a major improvement from the original skill of needing to hit a Vanguard, it now gets power. Premium players will definitely replace their old Magnet Hollow for this. Star-vader Omega Glendio-O while on Vanguard turns all your reverse units' original power to 18k. While on Vanguard at the beginning of your main phase, you win the game if you have 5 or more damage and your opponent has 5 or more locked cards. Once per turn while on Vanguard, you can pay 1 Soul Blast and binding a reverse card in your drop zone that doesn't have the same name as a face-up card in your bind zone to prevent your opponent from turning their cards face-up until their next end phase. This includes unlocking, removing delete, or countercharging. And once per turn while on Vanguard, you lock one of your opponent's rear guards that isn't in an Axel marker when your reverse unit is placed on rear guard. Aside from the increase in power for reverse units, the prevention of countercharging, and the loss of limit break mechanics, everything is the same as the old Glendio-O. Also take note that the third skill only prevents players from unlocking their cards on the end phase. It doesn't mean they can't use abilities that unlock their cards like Grendel's Scissors or Whirling Wash of the Curse Cleansing. But I'm sure someone in the comments will argue otherwise. Finally, before anyone thinks about trying to ride reverse units in a Glendio-O deck and using their abilities, Bushiroad has issued a fighter's rule for both V Premium and Premium formats where reverse units that aren't from the Link Joker clan in a Link Joker deck loses all their abilities, cannot create gift markers, and lose their twin drive ability. This takes effect starting 17th June 2022. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Vanguard 0 actually had a positive impact in the physical card game by mimicking its ruling for reverse units in a Glendio deck. And that concludes this Vanguard news video. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments how this will be the last V premium support we'll get for this year.